Nintendo Switch announces a Netflix-style game streaming service to tackle Google Stadia. Okay, so it looks like you got Google Stadia jumping in, you got Microsoft jumping in, you got this other service called Shadow jumping in, and Nintendo wants to get in the race as well, so they're announcing their own game streaming service. Let's jump into it. Nintendo has asked Microsoft to help bring a new all-you-can-eat game streaming service to its hugely popular Nintendo Switch console. Wow. This is going to be fascinating. They're teaming up with Microsoft, which is, don't they have their own? Yeah, they have their Microsoft xCloud service they're streaming as well. Okay, so however, Microsoft has already announced a deal with rival Sony to use its Azure cloud infrastructure to bring game streaming to its PlayStation console. Wow, this is kind of crazy. I mean, what other company hasn't done a game streaming service, you know? I guess Amazon would be next. You know, maybe Yahoo and Bean are going to come back from the dead and they're going to launch their own game streaming service. Or maybe the brand OnLive is going to come back and they're going to... Like, haven't we already tried this before? I feel like the reason why these services don't really work is because everyone already owns a console to play the games on, right? If they wanted the exclusive titles for Xbox One, PS4, or Nintendo Switch, they would have bought those consoles already. So this would really only be for people that already, like, that don't have these systems yet and want to jump in now, which is probably a really small market share. But I guess I see some money in it, or maybe it's just something new to boost their stock price. I have no idea, but it'll be fascinating to see. Let's see what else it said. Console manufacturers are scrambling to build video game streaming services in the wake of new competition from the likes of Google Stadia. Game progress and other save data is all transferred between devices as players move between their smartphone, tablet, laptop, or TV. Google Stadia will be able to stream games at 4K resolutions up to 60 frames per second. Google says the platform is scalable. Isn't there like an outage every week with YouTube and... Anyways, and will eventually support 8K resolution. Okay, sure. It's very unlikely that Nintendo will be looking to reach this level of quality, especially since the Switch itself cannot output more than 1080p to your TV. Okay, so at least technically, since the Nintendo Switch can only stream 1080p, then, you know, it should work. If they can do 8K resolution on these other services, then theoretically it should be possible to do 1080p on Nintendo Switch. What's kind of interesting, though, I guess this would require you to own a Nintendo Switch, so it might actually move units, but I don't know. Or maybe it's just to bring people back into playing their Nintendo Switch, because maybe people have kind of dropped off the platform altogether and they're just trying to bring people back in. The paid Nintendo Switch online subscription already offers all-you-can-eat access to a selection of retro NES titles like The Legend of Zelda, Mario Bros, River City Ransom, don't know what that is, and Super Mario Bros. 3, to name a few. To attract new customers to a streaming service for the Switch. Okay, here we go. Nintendo will likely have to offer a more up-to-date selection of games. It's hard to see how a number of NES games will be able to compete with the likes of Google Stadia, as well as next-gen streaming services of AAA titles coming to the Sony PS5 and Microsoft Project Scarlet. There's so many of these streaming services now, and I'm not even sure there's a market for it, because we tried this before, back in 2010 or 2012 with OnLive. That company lasted only a few years and then it went bust. I mean, and in a way, isn't that kind of what the Ouya was? Like the Kickstarter Ouya? It was kind of this platform where, you know, indie developers and all kinds of people could publish their games on, but at the end of the day, if there's not dedicated exclusive titles, it's going to be hard for people to jump onto this platform. And plus the fact that people that already want to play these systems, they probably already own them, so I'm not sure how many units this is actually going to move, unless the price point is really attractive. Something like the Google Stadia, which I think was starting at like $10 a month, which is pretty, you know, it's like Netflix prices, which I guess is kind of what they're going for if they're saying it's a Netflix style game streaming service. But if there's that high level of entry of buying the console, then I don't know how that will work necessarily. But yeah, definitely interesting to see how this actually turns out, if these services are actually going to do well or not. Yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more content like this. Bye.